Hello world, it's Siraj and I built a trading bot with Cursor. Cursor is the hottest new AI editor out there, and I have completely replaced my usage of Visual Studio Code, the premier editor, with Cursor completely for all the tasks that I use. And in this video, we are going to learn, you and I, how to use Cursor from scratch, all the important features by building a trading bot. And that's what you're seeing right here is this meme coin trading bot that I'm going to build in 20 minutes with you in this video with Cursor AI, no matter whether you've coded or not. That's the point of this video. It enables anybody, whether or not they've coded before, to build real web and mobile applications. And at the end of the video, you're going to find out if this trading bot was profitable or not. So find out at the end of the video. But in the meantime, we're going to learn how Cursor works. So how is this trading bot going to work? How are we going to build it? What does the architecture look like? I have used Claude 3.7 Sonnet, the latest model that came out last night, to build this diagram. And there are four sections here. The first is development, which are all the tools we'll be using. The second is backend, and that's all the logic that we're going to be using for the trading. The third is data sources. What are all the brokerages we're connecting to, as well as the sentiment data from the web. And then the last one is front end. What does the actual visual of the trading bot look like that we can see in the web interface? So the key here are these four tools for development that I'm going to talk about. The first one is, of course, Cursor. Cursor is this AI code editor. It works on any device, whether it's Windows, Mac, Linux. Just download it very easily from the website here. And I do have a pro subscription, which allows me to talk to it all day, and I think it's very much worth it, but start off with the free one. And the second one is called Whispr Flow. And Whispr Flow is a tool that lets me, you can see it right here, talk. And it turns my voice to text automatically. And we're going to be using it to talk to Cursor. So we don't even have to type anything. And we're going to try to talk our app into existence. And the last one is V0. And V0 is a tool to design the front end for your app, the design for it. What does it look like before we actually build it, or after we can use it to refine it? And of course, OpenAI is going to be our AI of choice to do sentiment analysis by interpreting all of these X posts that are coming in real time. So for our back end and our front end, these are all a collection of tools. Python, Flask, which is a web framework for Python, Heroku, which is a cloud environment for us to deploy our Flask web app to, Firebase for us to store that data to, as well as Heroku for deploying it, as well as React, which is our front end, which is a dynamic front end created by Meta, which is very much in use today, as well as Flutter for our mobile app and TradingView for our charting. Notifications will be sent using trade alerts, and then for testing, we're going to do some straight up unit testing by prompting Claude. Now, all of these tools are probably novel to you if you've never coded before, but that's okay. We can find a collection of tools that you're most familiar with at this website, cursor.directory, or you could use my own. And what cursor.directory does is it contains a whole bunch of system prompts for Claude. Those are prompts that tell, for Cursor, I should say, that tell Cursor how to act when you're interacting with it. So you can click on one and it's going to basically instruct Cursor how to act. Like this guide tells you how to be a React developer, or this guide says this. And I have my own specific system prompt for Cursor that we're going to look at. So let's get right into building with Cursor. We're going to open up Cursor. You see it right here. And I'll click on Open Project, and I'll go to my desktop, and I'll click on New Folder, and I'll call it Demo Folder. And in Demo Folder, I'll click Open, and that opens up a new project right here. I'll click on this toggle AI pane in the top right corner, and that's going to open up the Composer window. Composer is our interface to have our conversation with Cursor, and we can choose whatever AI model we want. I'm going to choose Claude 3.5 Sonnet because it's the most reliable so far, and then I'm going to set it to agent mode. Now, what's the difference between normal and agent mode? Normal mode is just a chatbot interface. It generates code, just like Claude, ChatGPT does in the web interface. Agent mode not just generates code, it has agency. It acts in the world by running commands, running code, looking at code, iterating on it, creating project directory structures in our file system. These are all actions. That's why we call it an agent, because it's not just a chatbot. It has agency, just like humans do. And so we want it to be in agent mode because we want to be completely hands off with this. We just want to be able to talk to it and for it to build for us in 20 minutes, which is the point of this video. We want to build this trading bot in 20 minutes with Cursor. Before we get started with our first prompt, we are going to go to Cursor, Settings, and then Cursor Settings. This is exactly what I was just talking about, the system prompt for Cursor. I didn't show it to you. Here's where we put it into. And in this, I say you are a Python developer and you have Flask skills and all of these dependencies that I laid out in the diagram that we talked about earlier. I've instructed it right here, and you could do the same. Now, there are a bunch of other rules we could add, a bunch of other features we could add. We're just going to click accept to all of them, like YOLO mode. YOLO mode allows agent composers to run tools without asking for confirmation, such as executing commands and writing to files. That's what we want because we want it to be completely hands-off, large context. Yes, we want to talk to it for a long amount of time. And then there's a bunch of beta features like bug finder. We're going to check on that. And let's get started with this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, I want you to build me a trading bot. Keep it real simple. I wanted to see it in localhost, pick a random port, and make it colorful for me because I want it to remind me of Game of Thrones. So it's going to take all of that, transcribe it, and you see it right here. I added the Game of Thrones part so that you can see how capable it is at building fast front-end interfaces that are well designed. And once we have set our first prompt, we're going to see the chain of reasoning, the chain of thought. That includes all the chatbot features where it's generating code, as well as the agentic features where it's executing commands, creating files. You can see the files that it's created right here, requirements.txt. It already created this dependency folder for us. It's going to create an app.py file. You can see that right here. It's running the code, and you can see these different colors, and that's called a diff, a difference in Git terminology. Git is a language of saving data across versions, and version control is going to be very important for us as we save versions of this trading bot because we don't want anything to be a catastrophic failure. We want to make sure that we continually build working versions of this bot. And so apparently now it's creating the static folder, the templates folder, the index.html file, everything that we would have to manually do, it is already creating, and we can see it right here. And that's the beauty of this interface, in that the Cursor team essentially forked. That means they took the code for Visual Studio, which is open source, and then they added all these AI features to them. And it's a very small team, and anyone could have done this, including you or me, and they just did it. And then they raised 500 million. And now this is the lingua franca of AI code editors. It is the one that everyone uses. And so there is something to be said about a small, cracked team of engineers who can create $1 billion startup today because of these AI tools. Or anybody who doesn't code, they can make these AI tools be profitable as well. So apparently this is now running on port 8742. It has run the code, it has installed all the dependencies for us, and now we merely have to check it out on localhost. So it says go to this address, 127.0.0.1, port 8742, and there it is, Game of Trades. When you play the game of trades, you win or lose. And so it's got house Apple, house Microsoft, house Google, and house Amazon. And so right now it's just trading for its stocks because we didn't specify that we want meme coins. So this is a good first iteration of this. Now, before we make any changes to this, I want you to get used to the idea of version control. We want to save these changes because if anything breaks in the future, we want to make sure that we could go back to this working version. And so we're going to tell Cursor that, say, this was a great first version. I'm going to add a lot to it, but for now, I want you to save this by deploying to Heroku. And what is Heroku? Heroku is one of many cloud deployment services that uses the Git protocol to version control. So by pushing it to the web at Heroku, it's automatically going to save this version, and it's going to give us a globally accessible web link that anyone can use to access this trading bot. Now, the next step for us is to actually use simulated paper trading meme coin data from the web, so from Coinbase. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it to that in the next prompt. We're going to say, this was a great first step. Now I want you to connect to paper trading using Coinbase and show me those visualizations dynamically. So as it's doing this, let's go through some other very important Cursor features that I want you to get familiar with. The next thing I want you to get familiar with in Cursor are all of these model names. If you don't have one that is already here, if you want to use your own custom model, you can simply click on Add Model, say, here's my model, give it a name, and click on Add Model. And then the way you're going to run this model is by using what's called an MCP server, a Model Context Protocol server. And what a Model Context Protocol server is a plug and play way for an LLM, a large language model, to be able to use a collection of services. The Model Context Protocol was created by Anthropic as a way to standardize all of these different plug and play tools that all of these different LLMs are using. So if we want our trading bot to have Coinbase data, if we wanted to have a different AI running, if we want all of these different threads running in parallel, we can have Cursor connect to all these different model context protocols. And we'll do that later, but for now it's saying, would you like me to proceed? Yes, I would like you to proceed. So it might ask sometimes, do you want me to proceed? So I'll say, yes, I want you to proceed. And we'll give it the next prompt after that. All right, so the next prompt is, I want you to now use simulated trading data and visualize it dynamically using Coinbase's API. I want it to use meme coins specifically, and it doesn't have to be Game of Thrones. It just has to be a good-looking trading bot. And so it's already published it to Heroku, and we can see the Heroku link here. And now in the trading bot, it is updating the requirements file, it is updating the Coinbase API, and it is adding all necessary dependencies for this to use paper trading. So how do we get it to trade with real money? We want to add our Coinbase API keys that we can find at portal.cdp.coinbase.com. Coinbase Developer Portal is what CDP stands for. And in this, we're going to create an API key. So click on Create API Key. I already have several. I'll give it a name. Under restrictions, I'll make sure there's no restrictions, and can make trades, it can transfer. I'll click on that, create and download, complete two-factor authentication by doing biometric scanning. And now I have my API key right here. This is both the API key and the secret key. You never want to show these to anyone. Now I'm going to take a picture of these, a screenshot, and I'm going to give these as a screenshot to Cursor. So Cursor knows to use real data. And I'm going to say, thank you so much for this first version. Now I want you to improve it using real Coinbase API data. I've attached a screenshot of my API key. I want you to make it trade with real meme coins. And yeah, I'm going to give you use my $2,000 worth of Doge that you see in my account as the balance. And I just want you to make trades, as profitably as possible. And that's it. If we want to make different versions of this trading interface, we can go to V0 and we can say, I want you to make me a beautiful trading interface, and it would make the designers of Stripe cry tears of joy. And V0 is actually better than Cursor at designing these front-end interfaces because of probably the system prompt, a combination of the system prompt, the fine-tuning these guys did on whatever AI they're using, but this thing is really good at creating visual interfaces. So V0 is what we're going to use to improve the design over time, and then Cursor is for our back end. And here's this interface for V0 right here in real time: buy, sell Bitcoin, light mode, dark mode, balance, dynamic interface. And we can just copy and paste this right into Cursor, take a screenshot, give it back to Cursor, improve the interface. All right, let's see if it was profitable. Apparently, I've lost 3% so far, so it hasn't been profitable yet, but I'm going to improve it so that it is profitable. This was just the first iteration. If you're interested in seeing that and more and all sorts of AI tutorials, make sure to like this video and check out the waitlist for the Arena, this new AI startup accelerator that I'm cooking up. I can't wait to get started. For now, I've got to change some diapers, so thanks for watching.